So while I'm waiting for the parts for the engine, I might as well start disassembling the differential, which is this thing over here. And I already drained the oil, as you can see. Now I'm gonna use the time and try to loosen these bolts that are for the back lid of the differential while it is still in place, and then I'm gonna disassemble it by removing these axles in each side and this shaft that is for drivetrain, and I have two bolts, this one and this one on this side I think, and one more bolt in the front over here. I'm hoping that this is gonna be all that I have to remove, and I'm gonna be able to get this off the car and prepare it for welding. So let's start. The gasket is already here and I can start assembling the valve cover, but before that, the differential is out of the car, and now I'm gonna start cleaning this thing so I can be able to disassemble it and start working on it. Let's get into that. So the differential is already clean, and now I have to figure out a way how to remove the axles. So when I disassemble them, they are gonna free the differential so I can be able to get it out of the housing, of course, and I'm gonna try to do that now. Okay, so the axles are out, and this was surprisingly easy to do. I didn't expect this. I thought they are gonna have these metal locks over here and it's gonna be kind of hard to get them out, but in my case they are just sliding in and no problem at all to get them out. Ta-da! The differential is already out, and I think I'm gonna make one more effort and I will remove this propeller over here. I think this is for the oil to spread out evenly and allow everything to be lubricated properly, and I want to do that because I think I'm gonna disassemble this part of the differential, this gear, because when I start welding these smaller gears over here, I don't want to be afraid that some drops of hot metal are gonna make contact with the surface and I have to grind them and stuff like this that I don't want to get into. So I'm gonna try to remove this gear from here, and that is gonna allow me to work without worrying about this thing. So yeah, one step closer. Sorry guys, but I had to use vice to grab this thing, the differential I mean, and loosen these bolts because they were tightened pretty strong. And I didn't have the opportunity to film that because my vice is in a very dark corner surrounded with a bunch of garbage metal pieces, so I couldn't film that. But anyhow, now I'm gonna finish them by using this power tool and removing them completely off the differential. And the gear is officially out, so there is nothing else standing in my way to welding this differential. One more thing I wanted to mention is that the lock pins that I was talking about earlier on the BMW are inside of here. You probably can see this I'm sorry, I don't know how to grab this thing. You probably can see this shiny thing that I'm moving around inside of here. This is the lock pin. And on this differential it sits over here. It doesn't matter, but I just wanted to mention because I saw this earlier. So now I washed this with some gasoline, some petrol I used, then some grease remover, and wash this with water, which is not recommended, but my project is kind of not so important and I don't care much about this, what is gonna happen, because you can see that there is some rust spots over here. I just washed this thing and immediately started rusting, so this is not good and you shouldn't do this. But anyway, now because I'm finally done with everything, I'm gonna use some brake cleaner to finally clean everything perfectly before start welding. And I don't know, I'm probably gonna try to preheat this thing because my welder is not the most powerful out there, and actually it is pretty weak if I have to be honest. And on top of that, the electricity over here is not the best, so I can't weld this very deep, so I'm gonna use lots of material. I'm gonna stack some welds over, and probably I'm gonna use some plates. We'll see. I'm gonna explain what I did when I do it, and I'm actually done. So for now, I'm gonna clean everything with some brake cleaner, and I'm gonna probably insert the axles once again, just to make sure that if I use plate, not to block the path of the axles. So just in case, before I tack everything with some welds, I'm gonna use the axles just to make sure that everything is aligned and correct. And pretty much this is it, so let's start welding.